Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News, and going into the second week of the last chance qualifier, we've got some serious roster changes to discuss as well. T1, ahead of their challenge to try and get into the North American Partnership League for next season, have made some major changes. But they've also brought in another Korean player. Could that show their intention to maybe get into the Korean League or the APAC League if they don't succeed in getting their North American spot? Very much into your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one. Plenty to discuss today. First of all, this actually from Zellsis. You guys have probably already seen this by now, but yeah, wow, this was quite something. 1 million views this has. So this was noticed yesterday after the new patch update, that if you change one of the settings under general to hide user face in-game or user interface in-game and make this on instead of off, then you simply don't get affected by flashes. Skye comes around the corner here to try and flash Zellsis' character model, chucks out her flashbang, and he just doesn't get hit by it at all. And it seems to affect everything, maybe KO's flash as well. You can see here, like, Skye tries to chuck it out, and Zellsis just does not get affected at all. The coaches were absolutely mind-blown. Like, he was obviously mind-blown, as you can see here. And even does it over here as well. Like, he tries the same thing again with Phoenix's flash, and it, again, doesn't affect him at all. And Raucus was kind of mind-blown, right? So he releases this publicly, and it has, like, so many likes, of course, because people are like, okay, wow, people might have been doing this for quite some time, right? Who knows how long this has been the case? You can change one setting from the default, and all of a sudden flashbangs just don't affect you anymore. So that's kind of crazy. He reckons people are going to be cheating as a result of this one. Now, Play Valorant saying, right, say immediately, okay, yes, we've realized what's going on here, and have disabled the competitive queue immediately to work to fix an exploit that bypasses the flash effect from agent abilities. Update as soon as we're back. Zellsis says, everything's getting verified. Feel like I control the world. Now, they do apparently fix this relatively quickly and say within a few hours the exploit has been fixed. Competitive queues are back up and running, right? So I guess that they realized what was wrong and fixed it, but still quite the exploit, right? Because it does make you wonder if this exists as well as an exploit. Are there any other exploits within the game files and the settings that are either currently work and maybe haven't been discovered yet, or might well get broken in the future? If this can get broken by one patch update, then what's to say that something similar couldn't happen in the future? So would be interesting. Of course, yeah, we believe the LCQs currently going on, and also like tonight, for example, are being run on a kind of the old patch before the chamber updates, for example, right? And if that is the case, which I believe it is the case, right, then of course this wouldn't even be an issue to consider. But it is always something, right, when pros maybe come up with the ideas of using something like this, then you know, you could try and see some people try and exploit this to their advantage if it is still in the game, as seemingly this one is actually not. But I suppose we'll see how that one goes over the coming days. Let's talk about T1, because they are a big name organization that's trying to get into the franchise partnership league for next season, and they are making some serious changes. We saw not long ago they decided to bring in, of course, Autumn and Zeta from Cloud9 as their kind of head coach and, well, one of their players respectively. And it was kind of interesting what it meant for Cloud9, that to bring Curry in, it was obviously a bit of a precarious situation. But T1 have got rid of Dynamic, he's gone, and they've also got rid of Pony as well, like two players that we kind of thought might be long-term pieces for this T1 roster. But they've taken the last couple of months to figure out what they're going to do. They, of course, failed to qualify for Stage 2 and even Stage 1 of the kind of, well, the main event this season in the North American side. So they are saying they want to get involved in the franchise league and the partnership league in North America. They might be forced to not be able to do that, right? We'll see some of the potential options here in a second for teams that might get into that league. Maybe, though, they're thinking of the Korean backup plan, because they've got a lot of heritage over in that country. They want to be in North America, but it might not be possible. So Dynamic, he gets released, as he says, thanks to T1 for the amazing opportunity, looking for a team going into next season. But they confirm, or well, first of all, Knights confirm that Ban, one of their most promising players, is going to be going over to T1 and joining that team. This is something that people have been hoping might be the case, I think, at this point for quite some time, but he is officially going to be joining T1, and they do the announcement video right here. And Steel, in the replies, says effectively, welcome to the party. So this is pretty cool stuff. I like this move. One of the most promising players in kind of the tier 2 scene for quite some time. I think T1 are trying to build a pretty solid roster over there, but also Ban at player, you know, Korean heritage again, and that does make you think that maybe they're also considering their options, well, on that front going forward. Steel says sup in the reply. So again, they're trying to build around Steel as the in-game leader. They've got a few other pieces on that team, but now they've got, well, a fair Korean core on that squad, to be honest. With the team they're currently building, Thwyfo's there, of course, as well, and this is, you know, the current Korean core they have. As Expert points out right here, right, as we can see on VLR.gg, we got Munchkin, Zeta, Ban, of course, like pretty significant Korean core, and then Autumn coming over from Cloud9 as their head coach. So it does seem like they might be taking that route, but also definitely leaves the door open for them to go into the APAC region as one of the Korean teams if they get shut out of the North American franchise side. So T1 clearly really do want to stay in the North American region. They've made these changes with that in mind, but maybe they do have the backup plan there, right? Because I think they want to get into the APAC League, but the problem is that if that was the case, as George Geddes points out, you've got to make your entire team relocate if that was the case, right? Like, you've got to effectively say, okay, guys, we wanted to get into North America, you're currently living here, like, okay, you're going to have to effectively just up ship and go all the way over to Korea to play in the APAC region, which maybe is okay for the Korean core, but then still, and even then, like, obviously leaving behind everyone that you currently know here, it's obviously a difficult time. So I wonder what they'll decide to do on that front, and like, maybe Steel, is he down for that? It's an interesting question mark there. So I suppose, like, they are hoping they get into the NA League, and Bodog does say that they're his dark horse to actually make it into the Americas League, and that the actual teams that do qualify might be more surprising than some might expect. George Geddes comes up with his predictions actually for the 10 teams based on what we know over the last few weeks that will get in. Most of these I think make sense. I think there's maybe a couple that I would see a little bit differently, but out of the 10 teams that we believe will get in, these are the 10 that he comes up with. TSM, Cloud9, NRG, Sentinels, 100 Thieves. Like, I think that these 5 plus OpTic are probably a lock. I would say that it seems like, what, 90-95% likely that these 6 teams probably should get in. Like, OpTic surely will, 100T, Sentinels, like NRG, like Cloud9, TSM, I think they will get in. The other spot that I think is interesting is this kind of 7th North American spot that we imagine there might be for Evil Geniuses, as George had it. Like, I would kind of like to see maybe a guard, or like, of course, I guess this is the spot maybe that T1 would like to see. Of course, FaZe, another big team that maybe will get it, maybe they won't get it. So there's some teams that are kind of on the horizon there, but I think the EG spot is far from guaranteed to go to Evil Geniuses, despite, of course, being a big organization with a lot of tenure. You've then got the 3 spots, of course, from Latin America and Brazil, Loud, NIP, and Crew. I think Loud and Crew will get it for sure. I do wonder whether NIP will not get it in favor of maybe an organization like Furia. I mean, NIP, like, of course, well, they're really a European-based organization that relatively recently picked up a Brazilian team, but they didn't do so well. We'll see that here in a second. So, I mean, yeah, I suppose we'll see on that front, but I would say that probably 8 of these 10 will get in for sure, and the other ones I'm not exactly convinced on, but I suppose we'll see what they decide to do going forward. There's also to mention on the TSM side, because there was, of course, some drama recently between Ye and Rossi, right, who weren't particularly having the greatest time in a game of ranked. They're actually spotted here in a scrim down 13-2 to Knight with Exalt on the team. We can see these guys having a hard time, but as you can see, actually, we've got babybay here in the team, potentially at 2-13, well, also down in this situation, so Sabrosa here as well, so somewhat an interesting situation. I suppose that might be one to keep your eyes on as we go forward as well, but scrims might not be going so well for them. Let's talk about the LCQs, because today it kicks off once again, but yesterday there were still other matches ongoing. This was a phenomenal 1v4 clutch here from Yampy. Like, this is so disgusting, honestly. He's in the 1v4, gets the first kill with the tour de force, fakes the plant, eventually gets the second kill as well with a pretty nice shot, jumping shots here, and then of course needs to take his time in the 1v2. Eventually gets the bomb down. I'll bring this up on the big screen for you guys actually, because it's just so good to watch. Gets the bomb down. The 2 guys are kind of right there. He only has 1 bullet left in his tour de force. He gets the first kill and then switches the headhunter. And this is honestly the thing really with the headhunter, right, is that despite it getting nerfed as it is going to be, you can still put it out that quickly and make plays just like that. Then of course the pre-nerf chamber, but the post-nerf chamber coming soon indeed. This is what's going on in the East Asian LCQ. Edward Gaming confirmed through to the upper finals. That's pretty good for them. Chinese team, of course, they haven't lost a map so far in this tournament. They are looking pretty good potentially to win the East Asian LCQ and get all the way through to champions. Right, it would be cool to see a Chinese team there, but of course other teams are going to have their say about that one. This also, of course, Ninjas in Pajamas, as we just mentioned, they went down to Keyed Stars last night in the Brazilian LCQ or the South American LCQ, so they're out of there, right? So Ninjas in Pajamas will not be a champions. Pretty big deal, to be honest. Keyed Stars up against TBK. That's happening in a couple of days' time. Couple of days off now in this LCQ, right? August the 10th, those matches kind of finish, and then on the 13th, things begin again here in the South American side. This is the European side, where we still have games today, and then it seems like they're taking Friday off. But Na'Vi G2, because Liquid, of course, beat Na'Vi, and then M3C took down OG London 2-1, pretty close series, but in the end, M3C too strong. M3C Liquid will be the matchup in the upper final. Honestly, the way Liquid are playing right now, hard to look past them. But yeah, Na'Vi, G2, OG London, Gills are the lower games that are going to be going on today. And then let's talk about the North American side, because a big game upcoming today with all the drama and stuff that we discussed today. There's another cracking set of matches tonight. The first one of which being 100 Thieves versus Sentinels, right? This viewership, the viewership's probably going to reach at least 1 billion. 2 big organizations. Derek said it was kind of the clout match, right? Sentinels are confident that they can win this one with the improvement that they have made over the last few days. Both teams have had a fair bit of time to prepare for each other. So yes, hopefully it's a close series. Hopefully it's a 3-mapper. And I kind of like to see the Sentinels glory run continue, but maybe it will come to an end today. 100 Thieves are certainly a solid team. And then Cloud9 T1 NRG on the other side. I predicted NRG to make a bit of a loser's bracket run, not against Cloud9. I don't think I had in my original bracket, but I'm going to take NRG to win this one because I do think they play great Valorant and they might have enough against a team like Cloud9. And then in the other series, I don't even know. I think I had Sentinels coming like top 4 or top 3 in my original bracket, so I was going to keep up that kind of hopium and say Sentinels are going to be 100 Thieves 2-1 overtime last map or something. But very much intrigued to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new as always. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.
User interface.
Spike planted.
Why not?
Wait, yo, Sky, Hoppin, come here. I need you to flash me. I need you to just toss a flash like right in front of me.
What?
Just toss it in front of me and pop it, like literally in my face.
Right here?
Yeah, you want me,
Yes.
you want me to give you their playbook?
Oh,
Oh, flare.
But I want to see if it's.
Wow.
No wonder my flashes don't ever work. You got people cheating and